To answer any questions, yes, I do really think this, but I would also like to specify that I'm talking about some of the YouTube scene, but not all of it. Now we shall continue. So if you've been on My Hero YouTube for a decent amount of time, you'd see that there are a decent amount of people complaining about either the state of the game or the state of the players, whether that be excessive amounts of hackers, bad balancing, gacha, whatever. But this isn't what I'm going to be covering because there's already, like I said, multiple videos of that, some of which are on screen right now. These are all expert videos made by excellent creators, and if you're interested in them, go check them out. But that's something I'm not covering. I'm covering something different. Like I said before, like I stated multiple times, this is the YouTube scene. Now, again, not all, just some. I'm not going to name any names, mainly because, there are some pretty decent-sized creators that I am specifically talking about. And I don't want them to be too butthurt if they take my things to heart and I get, offended by them. But also, if you get offended by them, just make sure, don't take my opinion into consideration. That's all it is, opinion. And it doesn't have to be any degree to true. It's just what I think, obviously. Now, what do I mean? First thing I should do is address that My Hero Ultra Rumble is a Battle Royale game, which is something mildly obvious, but just in case some people didn't already know that, I'm just going to put that out there. And like most Battle Royale games do, they have a certain meta that, like multiple other YouTube scenes, have been ruined by their respective YouTube platforms. So, more specifically, Fortnite and Call of Duty, where the YouTuber basically says, this is the best build for this, undoubtedly, and you should use it because of this. I don't like that. Not at all. I think a meta should be something that isn't openly shared. It should be something that you find out yourself, because that's the creative liberty of your own play styles and methods on winning and playing the game in your specific method. It's not something that's all too obvious, because that just ruins, again, your creative liberties in choosing what to pair with what in order to get this outcome and overall having fun in the game, which shouldn't be something too important, which is something semi-important, but I digress. Moving back to My Hero, there has been Strike Aizawa dropping last week or so, and there are multiple YouTubers making videos talking about Strike Aizawa. Obviously, I'm not saying they shouldn't, because he's a new character. They should, give their thoughts on it, play the character themselves, see what happens. But there gets to a point where when you find something that can be exploited, make the game basically unplayable for others, not yourselves, and giving you a free win condition, then that just eliminates all sorts of stakes, all sorts of, any amount of gameplay from the video game, if you can understand that. This has been a major thing, especially with the introduction of the tuning system, where people have been making videos specifically about builds for specific characters that work, don't work, or just make the game, make the character more broken than they actually are. Or specifically things such as acceleration on characters like Aizawa, and multiple fixer costumes that would not be used as often if they were not blown up by the YouTube scene. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing to use these types of things, but I'm saying it is a bad thing when you don't find it out yourself. Well, you could do it by losing to someone on a character that you use. So you go check out what build they're using, and you put it in your brain to go test it out when you get to it. Same thing should be going with finding character combos, whether it is in tuning or meshing multiple abilities together to do damage to your opponent that is effective. I've been doing this lately with Technical All for One, and if I ever do show gameplay on here, which I probably will, especially considering that he's been nerfed recently, complete bullshit by the way, bring back Prime All for One, or at least before the nerf, but still, to bring up specific YouTubers into this, I would specifically am calling out Champ Sen with his Strike Aizawa, again, his Strike Aizawa video. Most of his Strike Aizawa videos, actually. More specifically, the one where he is making that exploded combo with Nato Monoma, with basically playing tennis with a guy. Now, if anything you should know about me, I'm someone that doesn't take things too seriously, especially if it's a video game related, unless it's something a game I'm very passionate about, like My Hero Ultra Rumble. But if I see a clip of someone Kurogiri storm stealing someone, I'll get a little chuckle out of it, because I mean, it's funny unless that happens to you. But this clip specifically, I sat down and thought for a moment, and that's actually what made me think about making this video in the first place, because that isn't something that is good or healthy to happen in this game. And there are also multiple other things that I'd like to cover, such as I won't even go over the examples, but I don't really have the time to cover them in this video. So if you would like to see that part 2 soon, I would say like, subscribe, comment if you would like to see that part 2, and I would thank you for bearing with me until the very end, because that really means much more to me than you would really think it would. And I will see you in the next video I make. Peace.
Sauce, flexing, no ketchup, nah, just sauce, saucy, raw sauce, yo, boom, the thing goes.